So we are live as we speak. So hey, what's up, Pat? Your mute. Let's make sure your mic is on.
Can you
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah, can you hear me?
Uh,
Can you hear me?
uh, I can't. Let me see.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yo, yo, can you hear me? Let's see. Yo, can you hear me?
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah, I can hear you fine, so you got to be able to hear me.
Let me get my headset.
Yeah, you probably need to get that
Hold
right here. For all my people that ain't from Texas, excuse, it's it's my dude right here. Give him a
on.
second to get his bearings straight. Give him a second to get his bearings straight. I hope everybody's having a good day. Once my partner in crime get himself together, we'll get started. Do, do, do. Yo, Pat, dude right here, man.
AG?
Yeah,
AG.
we can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, well, yeah, we've been waiting on you. Congratulations. He finally got on for everybody. I mean, sit your behind down somewhere, man, so that people can quit going all moving all over the place, so we get this party started. Hey, we want to get everybody up in here. We're gonna do a little chop up. Uh, we're gonna do a little bit of chop up, football chop up. As you see, screaming across the line, we kind of talked to y'all a little bit about the topics for the night. Which number one was fake offers, number two summer camps, number three HBCUs. A little question and answer. So if you have any questions, please type them in the comments section. And academics, those are the things that we want to talk to you guys about. So, but what's up, man? What's going on, homie? How's everything?
Everything's good. Everything's everything. Down here in H-Town. Everything's good.
Yeah, let the people know a little bit about yourself, for those
Okay.
who don't know, and let them know a little bit about
Patrick,
yourself.
Patrick Truesdale, Bayou City Preps. Been in the business for 21 years. Uh, Out of Houston, and I've been working with kids getting in school for years. Always took kids to camps and around the country to get them out there. And we also through camps. We are first people started the HBCU camp in Houston, which the camp we trying to put together in July, which you have the shirt on right now. So we always been known for that. And my thing is, educating the parents and the kids at the same time. In high school sports, period. No matter what sports you play, it's a business because college sports is a business, and that's something that parents have to understand. And my thing always been just be blessed where you go. Be blessed who give you opportunity, and don't get caught up in the alphabet, the number. D1.
Yo, yo,
So
yo, we have a long show, man. You supposed to just
yeah.
introduce yourself, let them know about yourself, man. You ain't got to give them, save some of it for the show, man.
Hey
We got
man,
a
yeah,
whole
you
hour
saying
show.
this was this is my philosophy, man.
Yeah, like, yeah, we got a
There you
long
go.
show, man. God, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, for those who know Pat and don't know me, my name is AG Wasim. I do a lot with, I'm from Texas actually originally, but I live in Florida. I've been doing basically the same type of thing. So we're gonna get you guys started. Let's go ahead and talk about camps, man. That now you can talk to the people a little bit more about, the stuff that you like. Talk to them about the camps and things of that nature.
Yeah. Well, camps. Well, camps are very important right now, especially in the summertime. Um, you know, um, Especially around springtime, you got schools that come down. You got kids that are going to be seniors next year. Even kids going to be juniors. It's important for them to go to those camps to definitely get their name out there. You know, so a lot of these schools are coming. in and they tell you they want you to come to camp. They like what they see in the spring. And of course, the camp we got coming up, that's going to be real important because I think camps are it's the key thing, especially when you could show your talent in front of more than one school. You know what I mean? That helps a whole lot. You know.
Yeah, one of the things about camps that, you have a lot of parents that just assume, that their kids gonna get offers and really the fact that this class of 2023, they haven't really had opportunity to be at camps. If you really think about it, they really haven't.
Oh
Because
yeah,
last year there was camps, but they weren't on the level as how they normally are. The year before that, there were no camps. This year is probably the first time it's kind of getting back to what it used to be, and the reality is, we got to get more and more kids that and parents that understand that the importance of camps. When like most of these offers that people see, and we're gonna get into that in a second, but most of these offers people see are offers for them kids to come to camp. You know,
right.
but the reality is, if you're afraid to camp, it's probably going to be very difficult for you to go to school. Like you said, we take kids all the time. We got, I've done the college bus tour. You've done tours. We have the HBCU mega camp down here in Orlando on the 29th of May. We got all the HBCUs coming. You talked to Vernon and they coming, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
kids have all the opportunities in the world to be seen. But if you're afraid to go to camp, you're not going to get seen. So that's something that
Nah, nah, you're not gonna be singing. What's funny is about those fake offers. As soon as the
Hold
kid
on.
get an offer,
Are we done with camps?
yeah,
Remember,
camp.
that's the topic. So if you got
No,
anything else to
yeah,
say on camps, if you got anything else, we'll go with that. Because if you ain't got nothing else, we'll move on and then we'll get into the fake offers if that's what you want to do. That's the next
yeah.
on the agenda. But let me ask you this: as a parent, why is it important to take your kid to camp?
I mean, to get them out there, you know, to market them out there, and you want to be prepared to go to those camps. So you want to be prepared for the drills, be prepared for what they want you to do. A lot of times, if you're not ready to run, don't run. But in the future, you definitely know you have to be ready for that. So you want to try to get in. It's like auditioning. You want to try to get in much schools and many college coaches' faces you can get in, especially when you start early. You could be a kid in the eighth grade, could be a league eighth grader, and get out there early. I've seen that happen. So
Oh, and get
that's
offers
what,
and actually get
yeah,
offers and get and
get
peak
off and get
interest.
their attention and get their
Right.
attention.
Yeah.
And then
So
you have coaches start following you then too on Twitter, and they start keeping up with you. And someone might not offer you right then and there. They might offer you later on your junior senior year. You already have that relationship.
all
So
right, and another thing, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the two things that we want to make sure that people understand is you need to be ready for camp. So you need to make sure that you've had someone to work with you on your 40. You had someone to work with you. You're going to probably run a 40. You had, what to do on one-on-ones, stuff of that nature. And also, one of the biggest things about camp that people don't understand is they're getting our kids height and weight. Most people don't even understand that's probably the most important thing that happens at camps. They really are literally sitting there getting your height and weight, making sure you are 5'11" versus 5'9", stuff like that. Because
It's important too because what happens is a lot of these kids they coaches they lie about these kids' weight. They
and
lie
height
about
and
these
height,
kids' height.
right?
They lie about all that. So that's one of the things that's important because the coach is up there tell you a kid is he could be say he's 6 feet, he's 5'10", and they can say he weigh 180, he can weigh 160. So it's all about telling the truth. That's why
Well,
a lot of times I had a lot of coaches trust me and I have to go eyeball them. I have to eyeball them for myself too because I don't believe it, on some
yeah.
confidence.
The main thing is when they go to camp, one of the most important things for them is to get their height and weight. Because
Right.
but that like don't understand. That's probably more important than the 40 time because, like you said earlier, you have a lot of coaches that they will just try to get their kid to offer at any take, not realizing that, you know, it really doesn't work like that. So, so now that we kind of covered that, let's go into the fake offers. We kind of talked to you go ahead, I'll let you get started. I know that's one of your big things that you love to like, we've talked about on many occasions. We're talking about fake offers and truth on kids. Go ahead.
I'm just saying a lot of times you have these organizations, you have these guys working in the recruiting department in these colleges because colleges are like, if you look at a lot of colleges, when I first started doing this, it wasn't a lot of people working in the recruiting department. It's like in the pros, working in the field. You have so many different departments, different hats. Now you have colleges have GMs now. They run it
Right.
like pro organizations are. And so you'll have a person that work in a recruiting department. It can be a student, grad student, working in a recruiting department. We're gonna offer them. And we'll offer you, and everybody get caught up in that, and they'll go around, put it on Twitter, show the pastor at church and everything, all excited about it. Then you also have situations where you have kids get the schools will come by there, and the schools will come by your school, and they'll offer you, but they tell you you got to come to our camp so we can see what you do, how you play. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have kids don't go by. They scared to go by. Some of them ain't ready. Some people give them bad advice. Some people tell them, hey, we'll, don't run the 40. Because some schools they want to see you run the 40. You got to run the 40. And like I say too, some of them are taking, they'll run with it. And a lot of times I know some of these kids not even D1 players. They're not even Power 5 players. They get offered to Power 5 schools. And it's like, really? Wow. You
Well,
know.
we can stick with the fake offers because one of the things that kids don't understand, you can shut all that down right now. If you get an offer, if you just ask the coach, "Can I commit?" That'll
Right.
let you know. That'll let you know right then. Is this a fake offer? And there's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with them. There's
but
nothing
I,
wrong with an offer. There's nothing wrong with them an offer to come to camp because the reality is most of the offers are pretty much that. Unless you're in the top 100 kids, you know, like if you're a kid and they offer you, because the problem is every school is offering 100 kids. They're only taking 25. So guess what? If you don't come to camp and that kid come to camp and he show out, guess who's gonna get the offer? It's just that simple. So,
right.
but we talk about these kids that you know they're getting offers because the school wants their teammate,
Right.
or they
They'll
get
play that
offered
game with them.
right, or they're
And
getting
and, and,
offered
and, and and not only that, I'm talking about kids in the ninth grade getting
right,
these early offers because it's some kids in the city right now getting these major offers. It's like, nah, come on, man. This kid, you can see the potentials now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But like you say too, the kids
yeah,
that they trying to get that attention to, and then they end up getting offered because they trying to get that one kid. Especially that
well,
kid ain't give them no love. They ain't gonna get. So when you call a parent and tell a parent, then they gonna think you hating.
yeah, and the thing is, like, night, parents are gonna always think you hating on the kid, and like I've had situations where I know for a fact that kid offer was not. The only reason they got offered was because the teammate was saying, "Hey, offer the kid," the friend, "Hey, offer my friend," and the kids don't understand. They think they're helping their buddy, but the reality is, what happens, and a lot of times, and you know this, if a kid has all these fake offers from Power Fives, and then what happens? What do you think a lot of HBCUs and smaller schools who would have took that kid do? They say, "Oh, he's
Yeah,
not gonna give us no time," so they blow him
right,
off. Now
right.
the kid, here comes July, and he can't commit to none of those schools because his friend ain't going there. And then now, you know, they're screwed because now the HBCUs have moved on. Because what people don't understand is, like what I said earlier, they're offering. You may have an offer, and it may not be fake, but it's still kind of fake because they're offering 100. Like there's some schools that offer 500 kids.
Yeah,
They can only take 25. So
yeah.
so where do you feel on that board? They just offer everybody
Yeah,
offer,
coaches,
and
the head coach will send them out tell you to throw offers, just throw
yeah,
offers.
yeah,
I
and
remember the last. I remember when the coaches at Tennessee, the last coach at Tennessee. That's what he did. Everybody had offers in Tennessee.
uh,
The
and
last coach they had,
yeah,
Pure, whatever was there. Yeah, they was
and
just throwing
Coach
offers
Prue.
out there.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the bottom line is, and I understand where they're coming from. A lot of times you don't want to be late to the party. So if a kid has any potential, a lot of times, like a lot of guys get offered their freshman sophomore year, and then they don't have all the offers. When it comes their senior year. But
right.
as far as fake offers are concerned, you know, parents, you need to make sure that you are paying close attention. I mean, you can't tell me, and this is what people don't understand. It's a measurable game. It's a measurable game. If you have all the measurables, you ain't even got to be that good. But if you're a 6'3" corner that can half-ass run, guess what? It's probably going to be. I see it all the time. 6'2", 6'3" corner, 6'3", 6'2" wide receivers that run track. They can't play no football, but they have the measurables. So like if your kid don't have the measurables, you can start there. He better be special, and you know that. Like
Yeah,
if he ain't got the measurables, he better be real special. And the reality is, you see guys out here, uh, you know, they just so happy to get an offer that they don't realize that who cares about the offer? You want your kid to get a scholarship. That's what you really want. Who cares about the offer? I mean, you've been doing this a long time. I'm sure you can count on both hands the amount of kids that have actually gotten offers, and then you looked up and you track their offers for like their freshman sophomore year, and then their senior year they go into D3 or NAIA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
they blew off a lot of schools who really would have taken an interest in them because and that's the only problem. The NCAA has to get a grip on these offers. I think you shouldn't be able to, if you offer a kid, he ought to be able to commit, and then you got to take your offers off the board at that point because that'll stop a lot of this foolishness that's going on. But you got anything else on fake offers?
Well,
Because
the thing is too is it's everything. When you was talking about size, the game changed, and so like let's take the linebacker position for example. You don't. They want these linebackers to cover all over. That middle linebacker sideline and sideline speed. That's kind of played out with the spread. They want guys can play inside and outside can cover, and they want longer bodies. So and that's the thing. Like you said, you have to really be special and drop back. So, like you said, the game is changing, and if you look at basketball, AAU basketball took over everything. Now you got the 7-on-7. So now it's like you got to understand is they throwing these offers out like basketball do sometimes. But basketball, no, they ain't gonna have them offers for those kids they junior senior because some schools just give one scholarship. They might just be trying to sign a forward where they gave a guard a scholarship early. You know what I mean? So it's a game. It's a game to be played. But the reality, you'll see some kids get some early offers, and you see they got potential. Like you said earlier, you got kids 6'2", 6'3" in the ninth grade can run and can play, and they get offers from the major schools. Them offers, they be real. You know the
yeah,
ones
we
that
yeah, but you got
you
a
know the
lot
ones
of
that gonna be
you got a
fake.
lot
You
of
got a
six
lot of them
three.
don't have.
Yeah, you got a lot of
You got a
six
lot of,
three, 6'3", whatever kids that can't play football, but they got offers. I mean, I've had coaches flat out tell me. I had a coach, and I won't say a name at a major school. Hey, I just need him to be 6'2". I don't. I'm like, coach, do you care if he play football? Nah, as long as he's 6'2". And I'm
can
like,
you do you care if he can run?
I'm like, as long as he's 6'2". And I was just like, wow. But because honestly, I get it. That's how the measurables, go. So like, the reality is, so I said that all to say, if your kid is a 5'10" corner, he better have something special about him. He better be able to run, he better be dynamic, and so, like the big boys, the beautiful thing, the big boys, it kind of is what it is. If you a big boy and you ain't got the measurables, like, them offers probably ain't legit. But but you want to make sure that you look at those schools, look at do they have and be realistic. Like, you got guys getting offers on teams right now, and like and other kids first team all state and they got offers on that team. They're the same size.
Sometimes depending what school you go to too. They
Yeah.
get caught up in the hype of the schools. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
all the time. So like,
And you know what happens too? A lot of kids that get offered from certain schools, if it's a pipeline, like you say, like you take high schools like your North Shores, your Duncanvilles, in
and,
Texas, you
and
got your Northwesterns in Florida. So you got
right.
some kids ain't all that, but they on that team. They already signed some guy. But when they get there, the truth come out.
Well, no,
Next thing
then,
you
then
know,
they then they
they're in the
trying to get
portal.
rid. They're trying to get rid
They're in the
of them,
portal.
and that's
Right.
and that's another subject that we're gonna have to attack because you want your kid to go some. At the end of the day, you want them to get a scholarship, and you want them to go somewhere where they're gonna get on the field. Because
Right.
I've had kids to go to the Georgias and the Floridas and never play it down. Where they could have went to a FIU, FAU, and done. And we got people chiming in. This is what we like. Hey, Coach O, like he putting it best. At the end of the day, a lot of these college coaches think that they can make a kid better.
Right.
I get it, they should. And I'm not saying just like anything, everyone would take something that's, if all is equal and the kid is 5'10" and run a 4'4" and the kid is 6'3" run a 4'4", of course you're gonna take the 6'3" kid. So I'm not saying that that, but I'm just saying there's a lot of like what we're talking about. There's a lot of fake offers and stuff out there. Let's see here. Let's see, talk to some and see what some of the other people are saying.
Okay.
They talking about we keep it real with the parents, which we do. Uh, and this is really what, and you know what? Boom. I'm glad this guy said it. I'm glad. Hey, coach, good job, Coach O, because that is true. I've heard that 1,000 times. If they miss on this 6'2" kid, that hey, that 5'10" kid will get you lose your job. So
Yeah.
and uh, it's true. Like the problem is everyone tries to recruit like Bama, but everybody ain't Bama. You know,
No.
it's just like Bama can recruit like that. It's just like Beyonce. She can walk in the club and she can recruit the way she wants. Just like Jay-Z, with the money he want, he can walk in the club and recruit how he want. And
Right.
Nick Saban is that guy. Don't get it twisted. You know,
And
no,
it's funny because you also have the kids that get overlooked. You know
oh
what
yeah,
I'm saying? And that's how a lot of
look at the
times the
league.
mid low Division One schools and your HBCUs and your FCS schools pick those kids. It was like, yeah, the girl get overlooked in the club, look good.
Yeah, just look at the league. You look at Cooper Cup, Eastern
Yeah.
Washington. You look
Right.
so kids, if you're a baller, it's gonna show no matter where
They
you
come
go.
to
And I
get
think, no, but no, it's like you said, they may not get you, but like you said earlier, and you hit it on the nose. If you're a baller and you ball, if you're a Power Five talent and you go to a HBCU, you should still ball. If you're a baller, that's what ballers do. If you can ball, you're gonna ball no matter where you at.
yeah, yeah,
That's just how it goes. So hold on, let me
yeah.
let's see, this got this other comment coming in before we can move on to the next one. That we got somebody want to talk about NIL change the rules. But that's a good question. We'll save for the question and answer portion. But let's go back in here, and since we were on it, because you brought it up, HBCUs. Let's chop it up a little bit about HBCUs. Did you see the video today Prime put out about like how they going into colleges, and that the coaches aren't showing them the elite talent. They're saying, hey, you know little Jimmy could play for you, but Big Earl, he's going to be Power Five. I don't know if you saw the video Dion put out today, and he said he's
Nah,
going to start exposing coaches who do that. Because I have seen coaches do that. I do agree with Dion. They but my only thing, the Prime, is this: y'all do the same shit. Like HBCUs don't offer a kid. I've seen it where they don't want to offer a kid. He got Alabama, Florida State. They don't offer because they don't think they have a chance to get him. I don't think Prime is like that. I think Prime would offer, but I'm saying it's a lot of HBCUs that don't offer these kids because they don't think they got a shot at them, and unfortunately they don't offer them as well because there's a stigmatization. Like we had the event last weekend, and like Coach Willie Simmons said, he doesn't like the terms HBCU. He said we just play football. Because there's a negative connotation with HBCUs in football, which didn't used to be that way when we, like in the 80s, kids would choose a Prairie View or TSU over a Sam Houston State, when we was coming up, over
right.
Southwest Texas State. Now, kids don't do that anymore because it's a negative connotation. And you went to HBCU, I went to HBCU, so we kind of understand, that, a lot of times, it's considered a negative connotation for a kid to be at a HBCU, even though HBCUs are producing, quality talent every year.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the movement helped a whole lot. Of course, when COVID came and people was asking me, you think these kids gonna start going back to the HBCU schools? Then on top of that, it's hot right now. Dion did take it to another level, marketing. And so right now, with Fam and Bethune coming in the swag, and Willie's probably the best coach to me in HBCU. You have good
Me
coaching
too.
in there, so
I
and they
agree.
have, and they have a lot of good coaches they bring in. You look at the coach at Alabama State, played at Alabama State, Anna Robinson, played about 10 years in the league. It is a real smart, knowledgeable guy. And we said and talk. Yeah, he might not have the experience, but as long as he know what time it is, know how to coach, and his plan I talked to him about, he has an awesome plan. So it's starting to hire these guys with a name, which is helping them and everything. But at the same time, though, it's been times in the past where you had coaches that coached at TSU and Prairie View. And if you got a kid like Julian Humphrey, you got a kid like CD Lamb in high school, they're not going to go in there and recruit that kid because they know that kid getting offered by the major schools. You're supposed to go in there and still recruit them.
That
And you
part.
let them know, too, listen, if you don't come here, son, if you don't come, if you decide to go big, you always got a home. Always call us. We here. The doors are open. But
You know,
what's happening now though is you have these NIL deals. So people coming to you with some NIL deals, like what Dion did, you can get those kids. I can't say no name because I know the guy job is on the line. But if a certain person wants to take the Southern job, got a hell of a plan. He got a hell of an NIL plan too, though. So that's you got to look at that too. But then you also have your high school coaches try to, hey, he ain't gonna get that kid, and especially threatened by Dion because what Dion can bring to the table. But they probably trying to get a bag from somebody. So a lot of high school coaches have been kind of sloppy with that because people would say people like me and you are street agents, and we are helping to keep in the community. I'm the first black guy to do what I'm doing. But the biggest street agent, and I'm living growing up in Texas, are always been a high school coaches. That's what the house paid for, land paid for, and that's how it got to be. Now, coaches, college coaches know it take good guys like me and yourself in the community, helping these kids, giving our people knowledge because it's most of us we have to give the knowledge to. Because if you look at every college team, it's mostly black players playing on it. And now, you have a lot of white kids are looking at another hand of going and playing HBCU schools. I think Dion just had a white quarterback just committed to him. So,
there's quite a few white quarterbacks in the HBCU ranks. Uh, Willie has one that actually played with my son a couple of years ago. They always call him Sunshine, no matter where, no matter what
right.
HBCU they go to. But I just think that the biggest thing with HBCUs, I just think that if they could get the TV revenue, like almost have their own channel, and I hope that Dion comes up with that. Like if they could get an HBCU like a SWAC channel, if they could pull that off, they'll be able to compete with a lot of uh, major universities because we all do know and we do know that the facilities need to be upgraded. I think that what I appreciate about Willie and Toronto Morgan, they came and spoke at the event we had, that they kept it honest. Like they said, we got to do better. We got to do a better job of, like you said, reaching out to coaches, let them know we're here, making sure that, that we recruit, something like this. I know for a fact before Willie got there were like kids that are going all around the country that their dads played at FAM, but FAM never offered them. It's just like Reggie Wayne said, if Reggie Wayne's family he was either Grambling or Southern, somewhere down there, and he was,
New Orleans.
and he said it was Southern then, and he said they didn't offer him. And he said he would have went to Southern over University of Miami, but he never got an offer from him.
Yeah.
So those schools got to do a better job because in our community, HBCUs, for guys who know, it's nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Uh,
the thing is too, AG, is we got to do a better job with our money, and we got to do a better job with alum having football clubs. Because if you look at Prairie View, you look at Alabama State, they facilities. We need more black
Tremendous.
schools with facilities
Norfolk
like that.
State, correct. Like
Yeah,
those three facilities are amazing.
stadiums unreal. So we
Yeah.
got to do that. Southern and Grambling have been playing on TV for 30 years. And Southern just really upgraded their weight room. And
Yeah.
I look at Grambling, the facilities how they look. Eddie Robb brought so much money to that school. Why is the facilities looking like this? I was like, so we have to do a better job, period, overall with athletics, with the school, to managing our money. You have people donating major money. Amazon donated a lot of major money to these black colleges, but they didn't even donate something to the athletic department. So they got to do that. All they went to certain department, the education department. But you got to put somebody in the athletic department too, though.
Well, if they want to get the elite players, they're gonna have to, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think that Prime has it going on. So since we now at the question answer session, we do have a couple of questions that came up. One I'm gonna go back to it so we can kind of talk about it, and that was this one right here. How has the NIL changed recruiting for high school athletes? It's a state to state type of thing. Like in Florida, if you are, because remember we had the head of the Florida High School Association came and talked at the
Right.
clinic we had last week. And the reality of it is, like he said, in Florida, if you got an NIL deal in your high school, you're automatically ineligible. And I see, guys posting, "Hey, this kid got an NIL deal." I'm just like, man, look, stop it, because you're gonna make the kid ineligible. These organizations are trying to, make sure that they
What
run.
they going to change? They're going to have to change because what's going to happen is you have the young man out of Salt Lake Carroll last year. He got an NIL deal with that tea company, and they gave him what 2 point something part owner of the business. So he set out and enrolled in Ohio State early, enrolled in Texas in January. And so you got to understand, down here is high school football first, Jesus second. So UIL had to wake up because what's going to happen is either them kids going to sit out or those kids going to go play high school ball because there's some other states where you can play with NIL deals. Are they
Well,
gonna sit out?
In California, you can play Texas.
Right.
I don't think they have to change anything. I think one of the biggest things
Well, Texas
is
changed.
well, I'm
Texas
Texas. I'm
changed.
talking about. I don't think Florida will, because the
They
reality
will.
is,
They
we'll
will.
see. I don't think they will
I'm gonna
because
tell you why they will. I'm gonna tell you why they will. Because if you got a hell of a team, especially with your CEO, quarterback, them people in them communities are gonna go crazy. And that's
but
what
see
happened to Salt Lake
right
County.
right now. This is why we always have an issue. You're bringing Texas to Florida.
No, no, no,
Florida.
no,
No, no,
no,
I'm gonna help
no.
you out. Texas is different than Florida. Way
Every
different.
state is, but every state is different from
No,
every
Texas.
state, though,
No, no,
AG.
Texas is way different. Like
Well,
in Florida,
we know that. But if Texas can change, Florida could change. You know how they are down here.
You know why Texas could change? How many 35,000 seat stadiums y'all got?
Sure, we got a couple of them. But
Okay,
at the same
let,
time, how
let-
many games do y'all have to move to certain stadiums?
never. Man, we
Oh,
don't
oh,
move games to state like down here in Florida, man. Because I'm from Texas.
well,
If you get 2,000 people at a game, that is jam packed. That's
right,
what I'm trying to tell you.
but in South Florida, they had to move games to the Orange Bowl.
Man, they ain't done that in years. You talking about
Right.
in 1986? They ain't done that, man. Like I'm telling you,
But
it ain't like that.
what I'm saying is this: if these athletic directors in these schools and they
Hold on,
lose
I'm
their
gonna
great,
stop you right now. See, once again, I keep trying to educate you about Florida. You don't want to listen. You always telling me about Texas. I'm from Texas. How much does the athletic director get paid here in Florida?
it depends. I can't answer that.
Okay, let me tell you. They get paid $35,000. How much does the athletic director get paid in Texas?
Six figures, over six figures.
So that's what I'm saying. Like we don't have in Florida. How many great Florida quarter? Because in Texas they put, and this is what I tell people all the time from Florida. In Texas, it's like you said, football is a religion. People will not. They won't go to church on Sunday if it came down to it. You know that because we from there.
Yeah, and if you don't
Yeah,
win, if it's a
right.
tough loss, probably they ain't going to church on
Correct.
Sunday.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So the difference is here in Florida, like we talked to the head of FHSA. They're not changing that. Like it ain't gonna be. Matter of fact, in Texas, the quarterback runs the show. Even if you look around, around the country, like even on the colleges, the quarterback NIL deal is a lot bigger than everybody else's. Let's face it. Even I think the quarterback in Coastal Carolina got $600,000. Think
Oh yeah,
about that.
quarterback is.
Yeah. So,
We were saying, man, my partner was talking about it last year when it went down, and we were just saying this deal was back in '01. You know how people in Hard Clark would have went crazy if they would have if Vince would have got that deal and wouldn't have played. You know what I'm saying? We was a game from state. The longest we went to, well, it was the longest we've ever been. But I mean, people would have went crazy. Like you said, it was over 30, 40,000 at the games. You
See,
know,
that's the
see
difference. See,
this
like
kid, yeah,
Florida doesn't generate that kind of revenue, and that's why we had the Florida Minority Coach Association. Because I truly believe that Florida could, like Florida could
yeah,
get to that point, but it's going to take a minute because they got to get the infrastructure together. And one of the things that I see is like when we looking at Florida, because like that's my cousin, he live here now too. You know, it's like I try to tell people from Florida they would be amazed. I wish we could just make people from Florida come see a high school game in Texas. Like just the grandiosity of it,
yeah.
versus what you have here. Like when I first came here, man, I went to a game, I was like, this is it? Like, bro, like the stadiums, like the the visitor side might sit 250 people, real talk. At
Well,
all these spots.
we have a lot of stadiums the size of your son, what stadium in the backyard of their high school stadium. You
That
know,
like what you remember when you saw
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Like remember the first thing when we went over there and you said to me, you said, "This is the team." Remember you said that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Because
because of that,
it was only 40, 50 kids out there.
yeah.
Like that would never happen where we from. In Texas, man,
Nah,
you know,
in Texas, even you a guy can't play, it was just an honor to put on a uniform on the
that's right.
sideline and have it.
They were
And then you making a run. You got kids in Lamarck when they win all them championships. Kids, I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna just probably put the uniform. At least I can leave with a ring. You know what I mean?
that's
And so that's how it goes. And another thing too, AG is, we always have them arguments about Texas and Florida. You know, Florida have their good points, but
no question.
Texas always gonna be better because of the money and it's an academic state too,
Oh
and
no,
advanced.
no
Now you
doubt.
have kids do tap out, but like you said, the atmosphere and what they do and what they put in, the money.
Well, think
I
about it.
mean,
Like my boy Willie on here right now. Willie done moved. He the one that said there's a kid that's getting the NIL deal. Now Willie was from Florida. You have coaches leaving Florida because they can't feed their family. That's just being honest. I mean, but the reality is, it's way. I'm a proud Texan. I'm Mr. Texas. Hell, I'll see you on Thursday night. I love
right,
Texas. I love Texas more than I love. Ain't nothing like Texas. I think we got better food, better women, better everything. But I got
right.
to give these guys credit. Florida football, they got if those kids in Florida got the coaching and the facilities that we had in Texas.
That'd be
Man,
monsters.
man, I swear, like if a dude could some kind of figure out a way to where the kids can go online school, in Florida, but they go play in Texas and get that like because as a matter of fact, it's a kid. What's that boy name? T.J. Shanahan. He's like the number 2 or 3 guard in the country, guard tackle, and T.J. is from Orlando, but he just moved. His dad got a job at Austin Westlake. So he went to
Wow,
Austin Westlake, and I saw him at the Miami spring. We were down in Miami in the spring, and TJ said to me, now look at this, now look at this. This is what I'm trying to tell you. That's him telling you what he made. But TJ said to me, he said, Coach, I see what you're saying. He said, I've gotten so much better just by the coaching I've gotten at Westlake compared to what because down here, TJ on his high school team was one of one.
right,
Like it's a lot of talent in Florida, but like it's not a whole bunch of super teams. Like in
right,
Texas, it be super teams, and them kids are from the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
like Dallas Carter back in the '80s, they were Judson, Willow Ridge, Madison.
Madison.
All them
Yeah,
boys, they was from the same neighborhood. They wasn't
right.
like here, guys are recruiting guys and getting guys to come to this school and that school. Them guys are, they're from the same neighborhood. So that,
They had
makes a
pride.
difference. Right.
Right. And,
So
and and the thing is I love about the Florida kids over the Texas kids, you have a lot of kids here spoiled, but
oh
East
yeah,
Texas to me always had the most hungriest players. Those kids out there working in the fields early. And that's why I look at those kids from Florida. Football all they have. And they take
that's it.
advantage of it.
That's
And they
it,
try
bro.
to get out of it. So that's why they're so hungry up there.
They hungry, bro.
You
They
know,
way more
they,
hungry. Like
they more
they,
hungry. Yeah,
they,
they
they,
made
they
more
way
hungry.
more. They way more hungry.
Yeah, yeah, because I can take a kid ain't got much here, but he's spoiled still at school. He living good, but you take
Still
a
living
kid out
good.
there, yeah,
Yeah.
they don't understand. That's why I
Them
say
boys,
y'all gotta
them
have
boys
that.
from down south. They
Uh-huh,
live and eat. The boys from down south live and eat football. It's a different,
no doubt.
different breed. That's why they win. That's why Miami teams win all the championships because them boys they live, breed. And another thing that's really cool about down there is to me though, like like the guys who made it, they come back and coach like their little league teams. They do a very good job of that. Like in Texas, you got middle school football, and I think that hurts Florida down here. They don't have middle school football, and like we were talking earlier, you probably forgot, but we was talking, and anybody can be a coach down here. The janitor,
Yeah,
like
garbage man.
yeah, anybody. I mean,
Right,
like like
yeah,
right, long as you pass the background check, baby, you in there and you get that stipend. Whereas in Texas, you got to be a part of the the educational system. You know,
yeah.
but and you have to have a degree, and so you have to it's just a little different. So
And then you
you
have
know.
to. I know we supposed to talk about this, but then you have to go through the district. Or you have to go to clinics,
Oh
which
no.
we
Oh
talked
yeah,
about that.
yeah, that's definitely. As a matter of fact, we can talk. We can move to that now. Hold on. I'm gonna let. I was gonna go. We can move to that. I'll combine it with. We'll go ahead and do clinics right now. That way we can get all that in there. So academics and clinics. Like this is. We'll go ahead and do that right now because one of the things that we talked about, man, and we got to be honest about it is clinics. Clinics, and we'll get to academics, but clinics are important because, and that's why I put them both together. Because what are the things you hear coaches talk to kids about? Learning in class. Learn what you're supposed to learn in class. Make sure you get the good grades. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do so you can further your education, right? That's what every high school. Hopefully, we hope that every high school coach is telling that kid that that they're promoting academics as well as athletics. Well, with that being said, coaches, what are you doing to help you be a better coach? You know, there are clinics that are like last weekend we had a clinic, and at the clinic, no, this and you tell me if I'm lying. We had the head of the Florida High School Association. We had Toronto Morgan, the head coach at Edward Waters. You had Coach Willie Simmons, the head coach at FAMU. You had Coach Kewan Ratliff at Florida State. You had Jimbo Fisher. You had Coach Cristobal. You had Joker Phillips. You had Coach my boy from South Florida. I forgot his name. Cool as hell, Mr. Sweat. What is his
Coach
name, man?
Mo, Coach Mo,
Coach Mo.
Coach Mo.
Coach Mo with all his. He the sweatiest coach in the
Energy
world. His
man, energy.
yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
and
that
a lot
energy.
of energy. We had all of that,
Hey,
and
Coach Huff, yeah,
Coach Huff was there. Oh, Coach Huff is so
did a great
dynamic, man.
job. Did a
Coach
great
Huff,
job. I
man,
learned a
Coach
whole
Huff is
lot.
like, if you didn't learn nothing from Coach Huff, then you might as well just quit coaching. Seriously.
Then you had hype man there, Mario Cristobal.
Oh yeah, Coach Chris. Hey, you can see why the U is back, baby, because Coach
Yeah, the
Chris
U is back. Trust me, I'm telling all
yeah,
y'all right now, the U
yeah.
is coming back.
And then you
It's
had,
all
of
about
course,
the U.
it's all about. Then of course you had my boy Jimbo that did his thing. So, but what was
And Gus
disappointing?
and
Gus
Gus, I'm gonna cut
Malzahn
you
can't.
off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
He did
but
his thing too.
I always heard about Gus' story. That was my first time hearing about his story, and it was awesome. I like how you and then now I hope they set that rule back NCAA where you can hire high school coaches because he like to help people get started where he come
Hey,
from.
hey man, Coach Gus is a great dude. One of
They
the things
really
that was one of the things that was disappointing for me was we had all those coaches, and you
mm,
have all these high school coaches that you know claim they want to get better, and and we gonna break it down honestly in a second, but they weren't there. They weren't there. So it's just like when you have a job anywhere, there's contingent education. You know, if you're a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, there's continuing education, insurance agent. You have continuous education because things change. Now, to me, I'm just being honest. If I'm a kid, if I'm a parent, and a coach don't come to something like that, then because if nothing else, this is an opportunity for you to network with those coaches, you know, and to get them to know you, so that you can help out some of your kids. But man, it's just disappointing because that's one of the things I dislike about Florida. In Texas, if we had that same clinic in Texas, we'd had over 1,000 coaches there because
but
they
yeah,
see
what
the
right. What the thing is a lot of these coaches, to these head coaches, they make it mandatory for their staff to go. Then you have assistant coaches that want to go. They make
they
it
want to get
mandatory
better,
for themselves.
right?
And I look at what you got going on there, and it has so much potential. And my goal is to get coaches, to recruit coaches to come to your thing next year from Texas and other parts of America. I know high school coaches, even college coaches too. And black coaches. I mean, anything in life, you have to keep up with the timing because things change.
Correct.
No matter how good you are in something, you have to keep up with the timing, and you have to continue to go to clinics to get better. You know, a lot of times you have your black coaches. They don't want to study. They think they know football. You have guys that play football. They think, oh, I know what I play. No, you gotta go to clinics. You gotta learn. I tell you, the first thing I give young coaches, regardless what level you want to coach on, go to clinics. Because it's a shame you have more little league football coaches at your clinic than the high school coaches.
It's
You
a
know what I
shame.
mean?
It's
And
a
it's
shame.
a shame. And it's nothing wrong. And I admire those brothers. I told one of the guys, hey man, call me. I seen this info, see how to work. It was something he wanted to work on. I told him I know a guy I can contact him with. Call me for anything because I see you want to learn. I see you
Yeah.
want to get better. I remember
Right.
an old coach told me a long time ago. He said sometimes, Pat, in life, you can't tell black coaches nothing. And it's like us coming together for something. And this just don't make no sense. And every coach in the state of Florida, all over the state, they should have been there. Even and my job is to recruit coaches from Texas and across the country. They come there next year because I'm excited about it. I'm glad I came. I learned a lot. I learned what Huff said about the running game, and people have to understand. A lot of high school coaches, even here, what I deal with in Houston area in Texas, period, they don't understand about why some of their kids not getting recruited because they changed certain things.
Correct.
Like Huff was saying, our recruits offensive tackles because they want guards and center tall and long now and athletic can run around,
Right.
pull. It's like learn. So I mean, we have to get better, and for us to get better, we have to go to things like that. You know, some of the guys look at it, okay, we're going to hang out here to the clinic. What's happening tonight? You know, that's fine. I want to get out with you. But let's take care of business first. So we have to get better. So all y'all coaches out here listening tonight, especially y'all have the advantage, y'all right up the street. Y'all got to come to AG Clinic. You know what I'm saying? We got to get better. Because at the end of the day, on Friday nights when you get beat by that coach, because of they beat you on some basic stuff, because that other coach been going to clinics and studying you
And
and changing game plan.
what'd your boy Tarno say? They did a study. They sent they sent a package to they had four different schools and four different levels, three different levels. They sent it to
Uh,
four schools that were winning, four schools that were medium of road, and four schools that were losing. And he said the
right,
four schools that were winning got the information back to them in what 90% information back to them within 30 minutes.
right.
The middle of the pack schools and the lower didn't do it. So so that's something we definitely need to make sure. Academics, and we'll end it with this one. Parents, uh, you know, you got to do a better job of academics. Right now, the NCAA has waived the SAT ACT requirement again. So that means basically your kid just has to qualify for the NCAA, and they're going to get in most schools. Now there are some schools that they still are going to require it. That's the school requirement, but the NCAA is not requiring it. So they don't even have to get. They just have to have like the GPA requirement, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
some
so
of
you
these
just have to
parents,
you have to have a 2.3. Now, like realistically speaking, if right now you have to have a 2.3 to go to college. So
your
if
core, your
that's your
core.
2.3 core, that's it. They're not even taking SAT and ACT scores for 2023.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you. COVID was one of it was a curse, but it was one of the best things that happened because they've been trying to get rid of the SAT.
Oh no, for
And
a
to
long
me, it's
time.
biased. They should have been getting rid of it.
Right.
But you still got to hit your book. You still got to. In 2.3, I mean, come on, if you can't get that, that's trifling.
And if you
You can't
can't
make
get
sure
that,
your
you
child,
honestly, if you can't
right,
get that, you shouldn't even go to school anyway. I'm just being
right,
honest.
right. As a parent, if you can't stay on your kid with that, and I can understand some parents. Some parents will ride their kids all the way from fourth grade all the way to their junior year, and the kids start smelling themselves. They okay, they back up.
You got it.
Okay,
You got it. Yeah, you got it.
you got it. You going up at a junior college, and that happens. That's why I said a lot of times you can't blame the parents, but a lot of times you can because I was in a situation I was talking about yesterday about a particular kid. This kid fell out of 4 year college, went to junior college, struggling to get his A to go to a 4 year college. And I'm like, his dad don't do nothing but brag on the kid. But I'm like, man, when are you gonna be concerned about this kid academics? That's my thing. When are you gonna be concerned about his academics? When are you gonna be concerned about him hitting his books? You taking the time and go talk to the professor, go talk to the teachers and all that. So, we have to definitely get our priorities together because if we quick to throw them offers and quick to show the touchdown clippings in the newspaper, we gotta hit those books. And like I say, high school sports, high school football, it's a business. So you got to realize that. So when these kids get to college, they're going to understand about playing ball, hitting academics. Because college football is a business. You know what I'm saying? If you go pro, it's a business. And a lot of times, everybody ain't going to go pro. Then they're going to look back and they're going to look back and they're going to see life as a business. So you got to have your priorities together. You got to get your academics. You got to do that. Too. And coaches got to do a better job too. Because I see a lot of schools have a lot of kids that can play. And you can look up every year, they grades ain't together. Set up tutorials. Get teachers to work with you. Hire, they got a little budget or booster club to raise money. Hire academic advisor or something. Because it gets on my nerves. You go to a school and you got 5D1 players and none of them ain't got no grades. Now, come on now. That don't look too good.
No, my biggest thing on that is, man, there's no reason if you got a kid that he's that dominant on the football field, hell, maybe you don't practice this week. Maybe we let you do academics and just let you play on Friday. But let's make sure that you got your tutoring before you come because like now when we start talking about Power Five kids, there are some kids that's automatic Power Five. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, can run a 4.4. If you don't know that kid is a Power Five kid as a coach, then you don't need to be coaching. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
simple. So if that's the case, go ahead and make sure that this kid is ready to go. Go ahead and make sure that you do all the stuff that you're supposed to do.
But
You know, and you
right.
know,
But AG, I look at it like this. If you know that kid can go to college, period, and play football, you
yeah.
got to stay on them all like
Oh
that
no,
because you
no,
have some
I
kids
agree.
reach their you have kids reach their peak later on. They might go to FCS school and have
If
one
you go to
point. Yeah.
HBCU, NAIA, if he has an
But I
opportunity to
but I-
go
but I,
compete,
I know what you're saying though. A kid walked through the door, looked the part in the ninth grade, and in athletic, you're gonna make, especially if you have some academic problems,
I
you're gonna
by
make
by
sure that kid.
right. If this kid's a sophomore and he looks a certain way, because as a coach, you honestly you should know that he has academic problem, and you should start working with him, regardless, like you say, of whatever like you should be doing that anyway. And I
Right.
wish what they ought to do to put an end to all of this is every state needs to have you can only play if you have after your freshman year you can only play if you are considered eligible to go to college. So you need to have a 2.3 core GPA because that's what helps. Now, one thing that kind of hurts Texas, but helps too, is that we're talking about what is no pass, no play.
Good man. I was built 72 year back in the
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So I mean, but they need something like that here in Florida because I see a lot of kids. That's kind of what got me started doing what I was doing because I saw a lot of kids who didn't have it. But man, we coming up on time, man. It's 8:55. Do you got anything else you want to tell
Yeah,
the people?
and I had to say this at the end of this academic conversation. That's why I tell everybody about us down here because being a scholar athlete is so very important. Like you said, keeping the grades up. That's why so many Ivy League schools here. You got Coach Hargrove here at Howard. You got the certain colleges like your Howards, even Rice here local. You got to have the certain GPAs to get there. You look at Stanford, they get kids all over there, they recruit all over the country because of the academics. They sign so many
Correct,
kids from Texas.
correct.
So that's one of the things important. That's why I want to leave out let these parents know, look, you got to take care of your academics. And at the end of the day, don't get caught up in them early offers because you still got to work at the end of the day. And it's a trick to a lot of that stuff too, though, like you said earlier, by getting the other kids. So that's how I got to end it on. You
Yeah.
know,
So with that being said, one of the things that we want to make sure as well that parents understand, like what he said, if your kid gets his grades, there's a school out there for him. So if your kid has good grades, I promise you, there's schools out there that will pay your kid to come and play football, like
yeah, yeah.
even the NAIAs or what have you.
Yeah,
So
whatever D3 schools like Trinity
right,
down in San Antonio,
right,
and the thing is with me is if I say a kid got potential, especially regardless what level they could play, they D1, I get in contact with the Northwestern Rice early. Here's the
right,
kid you need to recruit now because he got the GPA. Some kids have to test early and take it again. Then you have the
right.
kid might be a D2 kid. You reach out to your D233 to Morehouse to Trinity, whatever. Maynard and Bailey, you reach out to those academic schools. So.
All right, man. Well, hey, we appreciate your time, everybody. Hey, man, I'll see you. I'll see you Thursday. We'll
Thanks.
get everything together and we'll have us a good time. So I'll
Oh
see
yeah.
you Thursday night. All right, bro.
All right.
All right, man. Peace.